Hi everyone, I'm Eddie with One Step Home Buyers, and I'm here today with my good friend Kevin that's all the way down from New York. And we're here to give you guys some good tips on how to get your project funded. So if you're a new investor, if you're a new fortune builder, and you're out there and you finally got your first property under contract, well, Kevin, what do I do now? I just have got a property, I pick up the phone and I call you. What happens?
Yeah, so I want you working with your coach, looking at the deal analyzer, looking at the scope of work, number one. Then I want you to come to me, whether you have a contract in place or not, because we'll look at it. We go the extra mile at MK Funding, and we'll look at it. We want you to have 13 to 15% return up front, and it's getting harder and harder to find
Preferably
deals.
15. Correct?
Preferably 15, but some areas, particularly the cosmopolitan areas, New York Metro, Miami Metro, San Fran Metro, LA Metro, Denver Metro, Chicago Metro, Atlanta downtown, the returns are lower. That's the reality. And I talk to people all over the country. But new investors should have a list of questions on paper. They should ask all the questions they want and make sure they get answers, or they should not work with that lender. You're the customer. Right?
Right.
And a lot of lenders don't like working with new investors because they're inexperienced. Sometimes, they don't come through. They don't follow through. They don't have a sense of urgency. And often their deals aren't good.
Right. So listen to that piece of advice. He just said, have a list of questions. That's going to give you credibility. So if you call somebody and you really don't even know what to ask, that's going to make the lender uncomfortable. Correct? So what are some questions? Can you just tell us some examples?
The big things are, you want to make a lot of offers, because you're not going to get your offers accepted when you're looking to make 15, 17% and you're borrowing 90%, because your return goes dramatically down. And you're up against people that are retail buyers, people that watch HDTV, and people that can pay all cash.
Right.
Which is driving up prices. So you really want to have a proof of funds. Without a proof of funds, you're not going to be in the game. And today, verifiable proof of funds are really important, where the seller and agent can call the lender to verify John Doe has this money earmarked for him. And a lot of people are going to websites and just printing from anywhere, and you can't reach them by phone to verify.
Right. So these are like cut and paste proof of funds, and sellers are really a lot smarter than that, and they're going to go and investigate, and they're going to know that those funds are really not available. So you want something that's going to give you credibility as an investor. And to work with somebody like Kevin, he's going to give you a solid proof of funds. There is a fee for...
It's just $195.
Right, which is...
We spend 2 hours, we review the FICO scores, we review all of your assets, and we provide 3-4 times assets. But we'll do what we need to do if you're in a certain market that needs a little bit more money. But a lot of investors are not coming through, they're falling out, so agents and sellers are getting much more aggressive and very picky with who they work with, and the proof of funds. The other thing is, I want to see your deal analyzer. I want to be actively involved in looking at your deal, making sure we maximize the returns, making sure your scope of work is intelligently thought out. And I don't want to see, a $20,000 kitchen and a $350,000 home. Where else can we put 5,000 of those dollars?
So here's the great thing about Kevin. He'll actually help and walk you through some of these things. You don't always hear a lender that wants to work with a new investor. They usually just move on to the next person, but Kevin's very open-minded. He's got a great heart. He does business the right way, and this is the type of people we want to work with.
I hear stories where they're charged $3,000-4,000 up front, told they're going to be given 100% financing, and guess what, guys? There ain't no 100% financing. Then they come to find out 3-4 weeks later, they're being funded 70% of the deal, nothing near 100%. And they're being charged 14-15% interest and 4 or 5 points.
And they're stuck.
So we're very transparent. Typically for new investors, we charge 9.5 to 11% and 3 points, sometimes 3.25, depending upon FICO and liquidity. And we walk you through every metric so you understand what you're getting into and potentially the risks involved. You know, some
Right.
customers are surprised when they give me a FICO score of 680 and they're not transparent. They don't think we're going to check and it comes out to 580.
Right.
And don't understand why we can't fund them.
Exactly.
Or the appraisals are really important. So I want customers to work with agents so they really get and manage their agents, which we help you understand and execute. Managing the agents to make sure their ARVs are accurate. Because if you're giving me an ARV of 350 and it comes in at 310, that's a $40,000 difference.
And it's just such a common
comes
mistake.
off your loan.
Yes, it's such a common mistake that we see all the time. So, you know, the bottom line here is that you, as a new investor, you need to leverage the experience of somebody like Kevin, and you don't want to just go to any stranger out there to work with them. You really have no idea what you're getting into. So please send us a private message. You know, what we're going to do is we're going to refer you out to Kevin, and any of those questions that you have about that first deal, he'll help you through it, walk you through it, correct?
Yeah, happy to help.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thanks a lot for having me.